Hello, welcome to a very special episode on the channel today. We're going to be previewing the British National eRacing Championships, and what better place to do it than the home of cycling in Great Britain at Manchester Velodrome. I'm going to head up to the comms box now and have a quick chat with Tim Fulford, our resident Zwift expert.
Thanks Chris, great intro. I'm joined by Zwift expert Tim Fulford.
It's very kind of you calling that.
And we're going to go through the format of the Nationals.
Yep.
And then we're going to dissect those races and we're going to look at the protagonists.
Let's go for it.
So first off, we tell us about the format. What is the format?
So how they've gone at the format this year. Last year it was just a one-up race, won by Kim Little over the... a bit like the qualifier, over the figure of 8.
Mm-hmm.
This time they've had the qualifier and now the finals is 3 races. So you start up with an elimination race.
Right.
Which is going to be around the LaGuardia Loop in New York.
Is that a short loop?
2.8k.
Alright, so pretty short.
And they will be doing it the last 2 each lap get pinged. So I think it's four laps.
Right.
With the last lap being the sprint finish between the last 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll go into a points race.
Yep.
Which is on the volcano counterclockwise.
The short little crit circuit.
The little crit circuit in the volcano. And again, I think that's 3 laps.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be around 12k with a lead in. And then you'll finish off with the Wahoo scratch race, which is 2 laps. Watopia Hilly. I believe it's in the reverse.
So that's going to be the longest race.
So yeah, that's 18k.
Yeah. Alright, so let's look at the elimination race. So these races are all set up very similar to what a track event will be. So
it's like half an omnium.
Yeah. So an elimination race is normally called the Devil, and it's normally every lap a rider will come out, or every other lap the rider will come out.
Yep.
How will the tactics play out? What if you were riding it? What would you do? Would you just get on the front and smash it and try and break it up so you're not ever at the back?
I think it's going to be interesting because if in the first elimination it breaks up, it could stay broken up, and then the front could just not have to worry because of the dynamic of Zwift. If you've got, say, a group, there's 10 of them, you've got a group of 5 and a group of 5, then the front 5, if they work semi-hard enough, are just not going to have to work until the last 2 laps. Because they don't have to worry about being eliminated because the other 2 are being eliminated.
Yeah.
If it stays together, the LaGuardia Loop isn't, well, nowhere in New York is flat. The LaGuardia Loop, if they do it the forward way, it has a climb before the sprint. When I say climb, it's like an inconvenient lump.
Yeah.
But that could split everything up repeatedly just before the sprint.
Yeah.
So do I think it's a steep enough hill to make people get dropped? Probably not, because these are the top 10 best riders in the UK. But how you want to attack it, and Ed Laverack at 59 kilos compared to Steve Young at 78 or whatever it's going to be, it's going to be slightly different. How I would do it is never be right at the back and probably launch a little bit earlier, make sure I'm in second, third wheel and then go again each time. But they're going to have to react point on point.
Do you think that you could feign being tired, feign that you're getting dropped off? So the person in third wheel, for instance, might think them 2 are getting dropped. I can see them and they're looking tired, and then just last minute, boom, come through.
I don't think I'd want to risk it because it's a very short race anyway.
True, yeah.
And if you're tired in the first race of the elimination race,
but you're pretending.
Oh right, you're pretending. So no. No, I don't think you want to risk it because the dynamics of Zwift, like if someone else kicks slightly harder than you, then it's game over.
Yeah.
You've then got a break of about an hour, I think, before you then go to the points race, which is, again, for argument's sake, it's a bit like an elimination race in the sense that it's first across the line will pick up points.
So instead of being on the bike now, you've got to be at the front.
They'll have, I think it's 5, 4, 3, 1 points wise, with double points on the line at the end. So again, it's just going to be hold on for dear life. Going counterclockwise, so it's not a natural sprint. It's that left-hander draggy uphill into the volcano, flattens off again, and then goes uphill again.
Yeah.
So like that, you've seen Kim Little go before, where he goes right at the bottom of the first hill and then just hopes to hold all the way. But if I'm Steve Young, I don't think I'm going to want to do that. But then if I'm Ed Laverack, then maybe I want to make that help as much as possible. There's so many different ways you're going to be able to do it, and if you've got a wheel, it's going to be completely different. If you've got a power up, it's going to be completely different. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I think the first time round, everyone will have a plan, and then after that,
the plan's going to go out the window.
It'll be a free for all.
Yeah, it's the other thing is you've got a dynamic of only 10 riders, whereas normally in a Zwift race you're upwards of potentially 400 people
on those kind of courses, because you won't be able to break a blob up very easily. You'd have a lot of people.
Yeah.
I rode in CVR Paris, and that was weird to just have 10 people.
Yeah.
And because there's no hope that anyone else is going to drag you back to the bunch.
Do you think that
once you're gone, you're gone?
There could be some people who have made the final who relied on that massive blob, and now there's just 10 of them. They're going to be exposed a bit.
Yeah, potentially, and I think it's going to be dog eat dog. So if anyone sees you 3 or 4 seconds off the back, they're going to want to hold your head underwater to gas it to get away from you. But there was a massive blob that took the men to the sprint, and we had, you had the likes of Andy Tennant not making it. You had those sorts of guys who may have not ridden Zwift very much, didn't have the right power up, those sorts of things, and people missed out. And then you go to the women's side where it broke up quite early.
Yeah.
And there was a group of 7 on the front, and all of them kind of knew we've qualified here, but they still took it to a sprint. Yeah. And I think that's, from the women's point of view, it's going to be the same as the dynamic for the men. So Dani Rowe's going to be in there, Leah's going to be in there, Lexi's going to be in there, Rosamund's there. They've all got different strengths, but after the first lap round, strengths could be out the window and you could just be fighting for anything.
Yeah. Well, talking of the ladies, I headed down to see Rosamund, and I checked out her Zwift setup and how she was feeling ahead of the Nationals. Take it away, Chris. So you don't need the latest equipment when it comes to training on Zwift. A simple wheel-on trainer will suffice, and Rosamund has qualified for the Nationals upon one such trainer. And as you can see, her Zwift setup is slightly different, and it still does the same job. Still punching out power, still driving those watts. And it doesn't matter how spectacular your Zwift setup is if you cannot push out the watts. And one thing Rosamund can do is push out those watts. An ex-GB rower who was destined for the Rio Olympics and only missed out by 1/10 of a second. How do you ride it when you're in a race? You kind of just knock into a massive gear and just smash it? Yeah, I obviously when I race, when the hills come up, I know that everyone else power will go up just because their one's going onto a high resistance, so I just have to be aware of that. So the only thing that really changes is your cadence then? Yeah. I might change gear. I do change gear if I want to do a sprint or whatever. I'll change up then, but otherwise, just. It's more like a time trial effort. Yeah. Right. Well, I entered the North Road Hard Riders time trial that weekend, and then realised it was the same and pulled out. So, I wanted to do it last year, and Zwift, my computer, the internet came off at the last minute. So I missed it. So I was quite keen this year. It's nice to race other girls and to have a lot of girls racing. And just see where I could go.
There's Bird hangs onto the wheel, Dixon as well, and Mary Wilkinson, it looks like, from the KRT. Bradbury, they're 56 seconds back. Rachel Elliott looks to be joining Bradbury, and this will be a group of 2 with, it looks like 56 seconds up to the main pack.
I think Mary Wilkinson will be pretty strong. Right. I've raced her a few times. And
in real life, was it?
Both, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah. She is very strong.
Yeah.
I think Dani Rowe, just with her sprint, her sort of short track work, I beat her in the qualifier, but I think that was just a split on the hill, and I think having more sprinting, she'll probably be strong with that.
If she makes it.
Part of it, I think, is, well, for me, and I think the reason why I'm better at Zwifting than sometimes real life road racing is because I'm quite new to cycling.
Yeah.
It's some of the being in the right position in the road and sprinting in the right position, sort of in aero way rather than just power, and knowing the right moments, all those things.
Yeah.
I don't have as much experience in that, so I'm.
Right.
Whereas on here, your position on the road doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of matters whereabouts in the group, but I find that when I'm in the peloton, sometimes I'll be out the back, just because I haven't been quite following people's wheels, and I'll just find myself at the back.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I can just put the power up and go back through.
That's it, So just like the men, we sent Rosamund up the forward KOM to see what she could do. And what you'll notice here is how different it looks when you are using a wheel-on trainer. I say it's down to the wheel-on trainer. It's down to the fact that this woman is so strong, and she is capable of huge watts for a long period of time. And what I noticed about Rosamund's face is that it literally doesn't change, and I think that's something that is instilled into rowers, that you must have a good poker face. You are not allowed to show people how deep you are going, because here she's at 400 watts and she's at a high cadence, obviously because of the wheel-on trainer and the lack of resistance. But I mean, she doesn't. She's smiling. That's how easy it is for her. She is smiling. So how Rosamund's going to get on when she jumps on a smart trainer will be very interesting to see. How different it's going to feel to her, and how she'll adapt to it with having to change gears a lot more often and ride it a lot more like she would out on the open road.
It's quite long.
Driving still at 400 watts. She's still driving at 400 watts, just under 400 watts now. Her heart rate's up at 180. Still driving that fast cadence up that hill. And again, that's something that you'll struggle to maintain if that resistance is set to 100% maximum on those kickers, and that gradient feels exactly as it should out on the open road. So it's going to be interesting to see how everyone who hasn't used a smart trainer before adapts to them. But she's coming over the line now. Very respectable time, under 2 minutes. Boom, 1:58. Very, very respectable. And I think Rosamund's going to be a bit of a dark horse. And there's me, look, sexy Pritchard. Good luck, Rosamund. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah?
I love racing, so I'm just.
It's going to be a slightly different experience to how you'd normally Zwift, I guess, as well.
Yes, it'll be a different experience. It'll be nice. I'm just looking forward to it being different and interesting and fun. So,
Good.
And hard.
So, what's your prediction?
And
don't be modest.
I reckon I'll be somewhere in the middle. That's
you sitting right on the fence.
I would go for about 5th.
Thank you.
That's good. New personal record up there. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you think Rosamund, obviously she had a wheel-on trainer in her garage, do you think she's going to experience a different kind of Zwift because they're all going to be on the same equipment now?
Yeah, so they're all going to be on kickers, and I think from that perspective it's going to be a level playing field.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also an uneven playing field in the sense that some people ride elite, some people ride tack, some people ride wheel on, some people ride wheel off, some people have difficulty at 100%. So people are going to be coming into it from a different perspective every single time. So how everyone deals with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're coming from a wheel on to a direct drive, and it's a dumb trainer to a smart trainer, you might want to just turn the difficulty off completely because you're not used to it. I don't know what the rule is on trainer difficulty.
What do you think the rule should be on it?
Each to their own.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah.
What do you think it
should
should
all
be?
Set at 100%.
So it's as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like how I ride it, and I'll ride it at 100% with the climb. because it gives you the full thing, but means my cadence drops a lot lower and it's more of a muscular effort. Whereas if there are some people riding with no difficulty, you won't get any free watts, for want of a better word, going up a climb, because you won't feel the gradient.
Yeah.
So I feel you have to do it more aerobically on your lungs because your cadence is higher.
Right.
So if everyone gets told you've got to do it at 100%,
but surely we want a 4%, 5% gradient to feel like a 5% gradient.
But the watts you have to put out to get up that 5% gradient with everyone else still have to be the same. You just don't feel it in your legs.
But
you want people to hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that's right there is where someone might have the advantage. Someone might be able to attack at a lower cadence on a higher resistance, and that might be their only hope to get away.
But that's their choice to put it there. Equally, there might be someone who doesn't like it.
But yeah, that's what I mean. But they have to live with it, because out on the road, you can't go to the Paris-Roubaix and go, well, I don't actually like cobbles. So if I just run, or if I go down that tarmac road, is that all right?
But it goes into the same debate as like, shall we have power-ups on or should we have power-ups off?
Well, we should have power-ups off. There's no debate about that.
Right. So you want the British Cycling eRacing Championships to be as lifelike as possible. You can't game with power-ups, and you always have to feel every gradient.
Wait. We're either going to make it full game,
right?
Where we're dropping bombs and we're dropping banana skins. All right.
Dropping what?
Or we're going for the simulation feel. I don't think there's any harm in that.
I don't think there's harm either way. But you've just got to make a decision on what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. Could you imagine losing a national championship, any national championship, due to the fact that someone had a power up and you didn't?
It's a game, though, isn't it?
But why don't we make real nationals?
It's the same way in the dropouts. So in the dropouts, Nathan Guerra says he's got a dropout. It's a mechanical. It's like a flat tire. It happens. Peter Sagan doesn't get to the end of Paris-Roubaix and be like, "Oh guys, that wasn't fair because I got a flat tire."
That being said, if he gets a flat tire and no one's attacking, they will let him back on. They will. There's a rule in that.
Please show me a race where Peter Sagan gets
Maybe
dropped and they don't let him back on.
But in the Tour, that's kind of the dumb thing.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, let's take British national roads, and why don't we'll give everyone a random number halfway through, and if you've got that random number, you get to pass go. If not, you have to stop in a pit box for 10 seconds because you didn't get the aero.
Gamify it. I'm up for that.
Alright. Yeah, that's a debate that's going to carry on for a long time.
I had the debate with Gav Dempster, who's going to be at the...
Funny you should say that, because this is Gav Dempster right now.
Aye, I bloody love iron brew. And haggis! Ha ha ha!
So I'm basically in the little utility room. Oh wow! The turbo's actually in the bathroom. This is amazing.
One big issue that Gav might find himself in during the Nationals is being a lone rider. The rest of the riders up on the start line are all going to have at least one teammate around them at all times. Whether the riders will ride as a team, though, is another story, so hopefully Gavin won't find himself alone for too long.
13 watts per kilogram! 13 watts per kilogram! Hargreaves giving everything! It's Tom Hargreaves! But can he hold on? Here comes Gavin Dempster! Dempster!
No! Is it gonna be?
Oh my gosh! Dempster's gonna do it! It's Gavin Dempster! Oh my goodness, with the upset! You said he wasn't a sprinter, but he made it happen! The smile, the reaction! Gavin Dempster is your Kiss Grit KEU champion!
And Chuck is obviously the mascot. Yeah.
Yeah, he sits at my front wheel for every race. He was there at the qualifier.
But he can't, he's busy, he's got another appointment for next Thursday, isn't he? Yeah. So, Chuck.
Yeah, I probably won't race much this year.
Okay.
I probably will, I'll do a lot more outside riding, but more of that will be building towards whatever the Zwift season is next year.
Oh, really?
Because it grew from last year.
Yeah.
There's more on this year, so who knows what's going to be in there next year.
So you're leaning more towards the Alex West and Ollie Jones sort of.
Yeah, definitely. Because
become an indoor specialist.
Well, if I race outside, get Cat 1 licence, which I kind of have almost done in the past, but deliberately haven't done it because there's no point in Scotland because you can't race.
Right.
Because there's no races.
Yeah.
And then, or I could focus on Zwift stuff and get to go to London, Vancouver, wherever it'll be in the future.
On a more not one-off basis, but on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
But I suppose there's more pressure then. But to have to qualify, otherwise you don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been lucky so far.
You're 3 for 3 so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tex Neo. Slow-mo. But here's Gav on the KOM, just like we did with Rosamund, just like we've done with James. The first test is for Gavin, and look at that speed. And if you notice, Gav is on the safety bike. Everybody knows that safety bike is one of the fastest climbing bikes, and he's just casually smashing out 8 watts a kilo. Looking as cool as a cucumber, barely even breathing there. I'm sure, there we go, he cracked. 1 minute and 26. If he can set this time, he's already got one up on James. And this.
Go on, Gav. Go on. Take it out, Gav. Go on.
All right. The Nationals have barely even started, and already it's first blood to Gavin Dempster against James Phillips. 1 minute 25. That's a lot faster than James went up. However, Gavin was on the safety bike, so we all know that's worth at least 10 seconds or so.
Okay.
There's a sleeping dog. You know what they say about sleeping dogs? Let them lie.
How much do you think the tactics of the game will come into effect?
They will. The people who know how to draft properly, it makes such a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
The people with experience of racing in the game. And
do you think?
I think I've done nearly 300 races, so it's gonna.
Right. Okay. Do you think that can be taught, or does it just have to be
It
experienced?
has to be experienced.
Right.
It has to be experienced. In different scenarios, in a small group it's different as well. Riding in a big bunch is different to riding in a small group of 10.
Yeah.
And knowing how to draft effectively and knowing how to not waste energy.
Yeah, I always feel it comes down to a level of trust, doesn't it? Like, you trust yourself that you're in the right place, because you don't get any change, like physical change in the draft. You just have to trust that you're in it, and therefore drop the numbers down a bit.
Yeah, and that's all learned through experience.
Yeah, and that is definitely experience. And coming into the final sprint on the scratch race, as we said earlier, it's a rarely raced sprint. You're going to try and farm an aero as quickly as possible and just go for it.
It's a weird sprint that, because you've got the climb. You come over the climb, your heart rate will be maxed out. And then you've got about 15 seconds to kind of
on the descent. If you've got 5 seconds over the top of the final climb, do you go for it? Do you just blow any power up you've got down that hill and go for it?
That can work. Depends who's there. That can work. It depends.
It'll be fascinating to watch because there'll be some hero that goes, because just on the run up to the banner of everyone goes a little bit more there, and if they've got a gap, there'll be some hero that thinks they'll be able to stay away.
Yeah, but it's a long way from
Oh,
it's farther
exactly,
than you think.
yeah.
It's farther than you think. What is there from the bottom of the climb? It's 800. Is it 800 metres, something like that? It's like it's almost a K from the foot of the climb.
Yeah. Oh, I hope someone goes. It'll be fast on Thursday, won't it? It'll be quick.
No, they're my favourite races. If it's a wear, it's got to be a wearing down course.
As you can see in what I just said with Gav Dempster there, he lives in Inverness, which, having been to visit him, is a long way away. But he was saying that to get to any outdoor race is like in the Central Belt. So in Scotland, that's Glasgow to Edinburgh, all a bit in the middle. Yeah. He's a Cat 2, I think. Mm-hmm. Was going to go for Cat 1, but then realised that any race is 3 hours away. Yeah. So he just said, well, let's just race on Zwift. I can race every 15 minutes. I can do it at 6 a.m. in the morning. I can do it at 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. I get to race against some of the best people in the world. Mm-hmm. So from that perspective, I think that's where we're going to see Zwift or the indoor scene take off.
I mean,
with technology.
within the Zwift bubble, and kind of out of it a little bit now, you're getting people seeing this as a genuine.
Yeah, you've got
as a genuine
Alex and Ollie in New Zealand
way of doing it, and a genuine national championship. This in effect will go on their palmares if they win this national championship. Yeah, and it won't be seen as a well, that's just a game anymore, will it? It'll be seen as actually that is good. Do you think that's just going to keep going to the point where, like with Gav, you're going to get people saying, I'm going for the eCrit, the esports championship.
Yeah, I think with British Cycling coming on board with this, and with them partnering up with Zwift as the platform and partnering up with Wahoo as the equipment supplier, you're getting a level of credibility and not justification, but like a confirmation from cycling as such that this is becoming more serious, and so I don't see any reason why it won't become the focus of some people's seasons.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the last race.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, I mean, potentially, there's a chance that someone could be entering that with no hope of winning, right?
Yeah, I did that in my final race when I had the 3 races.
There we go then.
Yeah.
What's the point?
You just got to have fun and mix it up though, haven't you? Like, I'm not kind of, no one, I don't think who's going to be, this is going to be the kind of person who's, I can't win, I'll just pedal round.
No, I suppose not.
You're still going to want to try and win it.
But you can affect that result. So
exactly.
You've got like Mouldy and Bibby there. I mean, both of them there's a good chance they'll be both fighting for the lead.
You've got Mouldy, Bibby, George, and Moses and Tom.
Right.
So you've got 4 Madison Genesis drivers.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if 2 of them cannot physically stand winning, they could affect that race
massively.
Yeah.
In the same way that you've got Cameron, Ed, and Kim, all from the Wahoo CyclingHub family, who are they're not gonna ride as a team, but they might be able to affect the result. Yeah. And then you've got the 2 Canyon boys of James and Steve.
Yeah.
And then you've got Gav, who's by himself. So I think there's a sort of like the free radical of Gav he can do what he likes, but maybe some of the other team members would have to sacrifice themselves if they've got. Like, what's the difference 5th or 6th when you could actually affect someone winning or coming 2nd or 3rd?
Yeah, true. So it's going to be interesting how that last race plays out. And again, it's a long race, and it's only a group of 10, so there's only ever going to be a group of 10. So
yeah, and they're going up the climb twice, which I believe it's the reverse. So I think everyone has got the power to stay with the group.
Yeah.
And then you've got that long, draggy next 2K up to the thing. I did talk to Gav around, if you get to the top, you've got like 2K left to the finish, and you've got 5 seconds, you're going to go for it. And I think some people might, because they will think that they can make it, but you know how quick a blob goes, even if 8 or 10 on Zwift. So.
But if that trainer difficulty is set to 100%, then you're not getting the same resistance.
You'll spin out going downhill, yeah.
So you won't be able to. So James Phillips. Here we are in James Phillips' pain cave. He lives in Bristol with his wife and his 2 children, and obviously his 6 bikes.
but his pride and joy is obviously his Canyon bike, which he rides upon the Kicker Climber and the Kicker 18. He's fully kitted up here, and he's obviously no stranger to live Zwift events after a 5th place in the CVR World Cup over in Vancouver. You're British cycling, yeah, you've done alright, haven't you?
Because last year I won the Welsh Nationals.
Did you?
Yeah, the road race. So that was a good win, like. Well, yeah, national champion.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah,
I'd take that any day.
I'm happy with that, to be honest. That was probably the stands out, didn't it? Yeah.
Would you prefer outdoors or indoors?
Both really, both the same. Yeah.
Are they?
Well, I get the same buzz from both, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing a race, like, yeah, you know, I like both.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy.
Did you go into the national qualification with any expectation? Did you think you were gonna?
The Welsh.
No, the Zwift Nationals.
Yeah, well, because I've been injured.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was close. You know, I'd only been back training for a month and a half, so the goal was top 10.
Right.
To get top 10. You know, had it have been this time last year, you know, I've been pretty confident that, you know, I'm quite confident in winning it, you know. But
yeah,
I'm not hitting those numbers yet, so I'm really 50-50 now. You know what I mean?
So if you're capable of winning this against the likes of Mouldy and Bibby,
yeah,
how confident would you feel taking them on in a tour series, in a race?
Well, Mouldy is, how many tour series has he won?
He's the most decorated tour series winner, isn't he?
Exactly. I mean, I raced Mouldy in Betty Farah.
Yeah. And you beat him.
Well, you know, I mean, I was in the break.
You beat him.
But if you look at the top 20,
yeah,
they were all pro riders pretty much. I was 7th. I mean, I attacked with 3k out, and like it's caught me 300 meters from the line.
You're joking.
Looking back, I should have backed my sprint and sat in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So I know I can, you know, and I wasn't out with my depth in that group on the weekend, and I only do 8 hours a week training.
Is that all?
Yeah, exactly.
I need to put this series to the test to see if I can commit. It's committing to 8 hours.
Yeah.
If you can commit to it with 2 kids, I can commit to it. And if I can, what can I be as? I'll obviously not be as good as you, but how much better could I actually be? It's amazing how many people say I only train 6 to 8 hours a week.
Yeah.
And you're beating Mouldy, who's.
Yeah, well, they're on the 4th training camp.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know, they've been to Calpe or they're in.
So do you think they'll ever get to a point where they go, actually, we don't need all this training,
well,
go and
exactly.
Go and get a day job and just train a couple of hours?
I mean, it is quite high intensity, a lot of the stuff I do.
Yeah.
But, like last year, you know, again, I was doing only 8 hours a week, and, you know, I think I won 8 races last year. A lot of them were second cat races, but...
Yeah, win's a win. So while we were here, it'd be rude not to get James to give us a little taster of what he's capable of by hitting the forward KOM. 900 metres, 5% average gradient, and he's gone at it like a bull in a china shop. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. He went to the recent Bristol event, the Zwift party in Bristol, and I think he finished 2nd or 3rd there overall. He set a really, really respectable time. I think it was around 1:31, something like that. Which, as you know, if you've been up this climb, you will know that it is an absolute brute of a climb. The main reason is, obviously, a lot of people go hell for leather at the bottom where it's really steep, and they run out of steam here just as we go around this left-hander. The secret to this climb is to just feather it just a little bit on the first 200 to 300 metres, because once this goes around the left-hander, this is where you want to be giving it full gas. Now this is where to take advantage of that lesser incline and really stomp on the power. You can see it's still at 600 watts here, so it's still got plenty in the tank, and this is only after a 5-minute warm-up maximum. So the top echelon of Zwift riders is something to behold. It really is. How deep these riders can go for the length of time that they can do it for it absolutely baffles my mind. I'd have cracked a long time ago. Still pushing out 400 watts there. He's not going to get the big W right now, but he's certainly hitting some respectable numbers and setting a respectable time of 1 minute and 35 seconds. I can guarantee he'll be disappointed with that though.
There you go. It's as easy as that.
It is a bit of practice in it, I think, on Zwift.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to sprint after doing that effort.
Mm-hmm.
This time, I know that this time last year, I know after a race, I could hit much better numbers than I am at the minute now.
Right.
Because of my injury. But that will come. I know that will come. If it comes for the nationals or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like 50-50. You know, if I'm going to be, I'm going to have a bit of rest now, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But,
so you've been training hard up to it, specifically for it in mind?
Yeah. So a lot of the training I've been doing has been sprint work for the nationals, because I know that's what it's going to be like, isn't it?
How do you think the format of like 3 separate races during the day will affect it? Do you think everyone's going to go full gas all 3 races, or?
Yeah, you've got to go full gas all 3 races.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not going to be, well, actually, the sprints aren't going to be my strong point. I'll let everyone else fight for them. And
you've got to
in
go
terms of
for
like the points race.
I think you've got to go for each sprint, really.
Yeah.
It's only 20 minutes or whatever. And, if you're a bit conservative in the first race, you accidentally, 8th or 9th.
Yeah, you're going to be chasing,
you're going to be
playing
kicking
catch up,
yourself,
aren't you?
aren't you?
Yeah, good point.
So it's got to be, got to go for it. Last year in the final, the Zwift finals, I dropped my chain in the sprint, and I was frustrated.
Gutted.
I had a good sprint and dropped my chain, and that was it. Game over. So there we are.
In the pack, that's for sure. But is he the strongest? Here we go to the line now. They're in. Who's going to go first? They're all looking at each other. Nobody wants to be the lead out man. 4 watts per kilogram on the downhill. They got to start ramping it up. And Kim might be perfectly set up here, because this is the point that you go. D-Cox is starting up here. Here comes Looker, though. This is for a National Championships jersey there. Oh, power-ups are flying. New Sigma Sport now 8 watts per kilogram. Will it be Hargreaves? Does he have it? Kim Little, 15 watts per kilogram. He's gone. It's over. I think it's over. He's absolutely gone away. Hargreaves wants it, but it's too little, too late. It's going to be Kim. No, Hargreaves. Oh, my gosh. It's so close, but he didn't make it happen. Oh my goodness, it was right there.
So we've talked about the races, now let's talk about the competitors. And first up, the women. Now we've got Dani Rowe in there.
Yeah, Dani's an interesting one, because I think she'd be the first to admit that she hasn't done much Zwift racing. She's obviously been around the Zwift scene with Matt as well, who does the coaching side of it. But this is another bit of a demonstration that Zwift you can be quite good at Zwift with just pure power. And obviously Dani has got quite a half marathon. So she's been to the Olympics, she's done World Championships and things like that. She's been to 2 Commonwealth Games? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, you've got it mixing up. So you've got the likes of Dani, who perhaps hasn't done much racing, but then you've also got Mary Wilkinson, who is a finalist from Zwift Academy. So she would have had to do races, workouts, group rides. Then she went out to Mallorca with Canyon SRAM, and she's also well known in the northeast for being able to ride a bike outside as well. So
wow,
yeah, some people at Zwift do ride bikes outside. Yeah, it's crazy, I know. So no, I don't think there's an outright favourite in the women's race, and again, I don't think there's an outright favourite in the men's race. And I think it could go from race to race, that you sometimes think that this person's got it, and then I don't know, power-ups, positioning, a burst at the right time. You don't know.
Yeah, when I spoke to Rosamund, she was we were discussing her strengths and weaknesses, and she said one of her weaknesses was the sprint. However, I said, if you use that power up at the right time, and if you've trained yourself, she was saying how over the last few weeks she's been testing out how to use that power up to get the best out of it. And if you've got a top sprinter, like me, and someone who's not as good at sprinting but they have an aero,
like me,
then all of a sudden that playing field becomes much more level.
Yeah.
And there's potential for a weaker rider.
Yeah.
To actually.
There was also the aspect that we spoke about how big the blob was for the qualifiers, and that will affect the speed of Zwift and therefore the time at which you want to pop the aero.
Good point,
as well. Because if you're going 65 k's an hour, your aero is going to last, well, over 500 meters.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not, it isn't.
You've got to take that into consideration as you get into the line and smashing it,
With
and
a group of 10 or 2 or
trying to see who's attacking and who's going.
Yeah.
All right, put your money on the line. Put it on the line. Who do you
What?
think's-
No.
Do it.
Do you want each race?
Yeah, go on then. I think Rosamund might do something in the
I think
last race.
Leah Dixon's got a good chance. I think Dani, Rowe, Pure Power's got a good chance. Mary Wilkinson will be formidable on the Wahoo scratch race because that climb effort she'll like.
Yeah.
Because that's just numbers. The men's side, the elimination race, that's just a pure lottery. But I think Bibby and Mouldy are probably going to treat that, just beat it up, just go for it. Or maybe you might even see like Madison, Genesis, all 4 of them just go, look guys, if we just get off the front here, put the others in a hurt locker, then we're down to a 4-man sprint for the last lap.
You are dealing with professional riders there, so technically, out on the open road, apart from maybe Cam that could stay with them for a bit, they could 4-man time trial it away and just drop everyone on the road.
Yeah? Oh, on the road,
Yeah,
potentially, in real life, yeah. Points race, again, it'll come down to power up and how they're deployed going up. It's an uphill sprint, for want of a better description. And then going into the scratch race, again, I think they'll all stay together, so it'll come down to a 10-man sprint. And it's a weird sprint that, because you come off the steep hill, and then 9 times out of 10, whenever you see a race on that, someone goes too early, because it's a very rare one. Normally you come under the rock tunnel, down the hill, and you're just like, well, hey, Watopia, there we go. Coming the other way, either turning right from Ocean Boulevard or coming down off the KOM, people will pull the trigger too early.
Yeah.
So I think you could see some pretty exciting finishes there on both men and women.
Did one hurt you?
No? Is yours?
Not mine, I'm not sat on the fence.
Oh, right. Oh, you want a winner? I'll give you a winner for each one.
But overall?
Overall winner. What I want or what I think?
What you want.
I want Mouldy to win because we were there for the KSL. What I think, just realised, I want Cam to win. I've just realised I want Ed to win. No, cut appropriately. No, I think it'll be Ian Bibby.
I think he's played it too much.
He's played it very well. I raced him in Paris. He is very powerful. He's not very heavy. He's not massively tall. So the Zwift metrics like him, and he's got one hell of a sprint on him, despite being very
professional rider.
Yeah, he's kind of paid to do it, isn't he? Yeah.
Esports in 5 years' time, where will we be?
Oh God, don't ask me that.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button.